So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy L, and I'm back. And I felt like we needed a good murder mystery type style video. So who better? That chapter. We go to that chapter. And what we got right now, man, is the Twisting Taberski family affair. Now I know y'all thinking like, yo, come on, L, July 4th. Yep. I gotta prepare y'all going into July 4th because you're gonna be around family. And some of that family, you know, you got to keep an eye on. I ain't going to say all family, but you got to keep an eye on some family members, all right? So we're going to check this video out. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. Join the fam. Tear the like button down. Just tear it up, all right? And let's check it out.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this whole video, what we are going to do is look at the story of a family. And just look at how lovely they can be. I am joking. The esteemed Taberskis are our best buds in this video. A noble lineage hailing from Ohio. The family, they had their own trials and tribulations. Some self-inflicted, others not so much. You had a Daryl, his wife Janet, and their 3 daughters, Shelley, Hannah, and Megan. That is what you had. But it's not what you have, so, sure you may as well give it a go. Time now for Mike's mandatory, geography lesson, right? That's what they say. You come for the crime, you stay for the geography, you leave for the humor. North Ridgeville is not north of South Ridgeville. If there is no South Ridgeville, why not just call it Ridgeville? I want that. What you might also want is some football helmets, and that's where Riddell has a big old factory making them. North Ridgeville is not far from Cleveland and is home to 35,000 people. It's a fast-growing city surrounded by everything you need. Without the stuff you don't. It is a very safe city, one of the safest in Ohio. But sure, go on.
That makes me cringe when somebody says that. Oh, it's a very safe city. I even catch myself doing it sometimes. And when I do it, I'm like, I always feel like as soon as you get ready to say that, something catastrophic happens, and now it's no longer deemed that.
Let's talk about one case that, impacted those stats. It began just after 1 p.m. on Sunday, the 15th of March, 2015. The weather was cold, snow was in the air, and near Victory Park in North Ridgeville, a call was made. A property owner was checking on his property on Victory Lane. He had just had some work done, and when he was out for a wander, beside a small snow bank lay a body. She was lying face down, nude from below the waist.
Emergency. Looks like a dead body laying here. Looks like a woman. I'm at the end of Victory Lane in North Ridgeville.
Upon inspection by the authorities, it seemed evident that blunt force trauma to the head was the most likely cause of death. But there was really nothing to give it away as to what happened to her. Sexual motivation seemed likely at the time, but what was interesting later was that it seemed that blunt force trauma had not killed her. In fact, when the autopsy was done, the coroner said that she hadn't been beaten enough to have died from it. He couldn't exactly tell what killed her. He would keep, diving in there, but suffocation probably was most likely. But that was not the only mystery that began that Sunday afternoon. They had no idea who she was. Her fingerprints revealed nothing, didn't show up on any kind of database, no ID, no record, didn't match any missing persons reports. She'd been dead for about 24 to 48 hours. She'd probably been dumped there as there was no scene at the park. There were no other indications of any kind of event taking place there. The event being murder. Likely she'd been dumped as the Ohio Turnpike goes right by the park. Perhaps she'd been, abducted, kidnapped. They found ligatures around her wrists. What happened, and then she was dumped. The only thing they could say was that, in hopes of getting some kind of Identification was that, she was a white woman between the ages of 18 and 35. That narrows it down. About 200 pounds with Chinese characters tattooed on her arm and a flower on her upper back. She had a number of scars on her face and brown hair. Police don't tend to normally release, the face of the victim. In this one, it's just like Bill McGuire, if you remember that one from a couple of weeks back with Melanie McGuire. They released an image. They did this again in this case to the public in hopes somebody might, oh shit, that's her.
North Ridgeville police are taking all of the steps they can to try and identify the woman whose body was found in that field here in North Ridgeville Sunday afternoon near the Ohio Turnpike, not far from Lorraine Road. And they've taken a very rare step this afternoon at a news conference that just ended here at the police station. They actually showed us, the news media, a black and white photo of the woman's face from her autopsy today through the Lorraine County Coroner's Office. Now, we have chosen not to show you that photograph tonight.
Yeah, because what if you got to think about the family, man. It sucks to be sitting there watching the news and a photo pop up of your child. You know what I'm saying? Your parent or your child or something, whoever, and you hadn't been noticed. That's a devastating way to find out about somebody. So normally they hesitate about doing that. So I'm interested to hear, what was the urgency?
Today through the Lorraine County Coroner's Office. Now, we have chosen not to show you that photograph tonight, although North Ridgeville police are keeping people updated to the minute on their Facebook page. They did give us such a good description, though we feel that could help if you know her. She's a Caucasian female, 5'9", 5'10", 200 pounds.
As I said at the top, this was North Ridgeville, a place with a non-existent murder rate. Cops ran out of options real quick as to what to do. Scattershot, and hopefully someone will recognize the poor woman. Thing is, it worked. They soon got a ring saying, yeah, I know who that is. That's my daughter.
Well, I just saw a picture of my...
That's what I was saying right there. They hardly do that because of this reason right here. That's a messed up way to find out. I would be pissed, emotional, messed up, all of those emotions.
Well, I just saw a picture of my daughter, and I haven't seen her since Thursday night. Okay, what's your first name? Janet. Okay, and your last name? Hyberski. Oh my God. Okay, it's okay. This is a nightmare. I'm sorry, what's your daughter's first name? Rochelle.
Now, I was just about to say, what you mean you ain't seen your daughter? But I remember they said between ages of 18 to 35 is pushes, so she out the house, obviously. So it threw me off when I first heard that, kind of like, what you mean you ain't seen your daughter? Now I'm looking at you suspicious, but then I had to think about the age.
On the phone was Janet Tyberski. Found was her daughter, 26-year-old Rochelle Shelley Tyberski. Shelley was born in 1988, older sister to Hannah and Megan, and daughter of Janet and Daryl Tyberski. Together, they had a happy little life living in Lakewood, Ohio, not far from North Ridgeville. That is until a tragedy struck. In 1999, Daryl Tyberski, he was driving along late one night. He went off the road. His car went off the road. He ended up crashing into a boat trailer in Detroit, if you can believe that, and he was killed instantly. The remaining Tyberskis, his wife and 3 daughters, had to pick up the pieces. Daryl had been a successful college football player, and after that, a successful attorney. He had a great career ahead, and that was over, and Janet became a stay-at-home mother and poured everything into raising her 3 daughters. However, after Daryl's death, things would understandably, never be the same again. Yeah, Shelley began to exhibit symptoms of bipolar disorder. She began lashing out at her mother, who was already struggling with 3 daughters to raise by herself. While Hannah would be a top student, top athlete, and eventually go to Oberlin College, Shelley, her older sister, was the opposite.
Well, August 24th was probably one of the worst days. 10 years ago on August 24th, my father passed away. So, whatever, crap happens. Same shit every day. Learn to deal with it, But, 10 years ago, I didn't know what to do. So, I didn't cry. But I thought to myself, I gotta live on. I gotta move on. It's what he wants.
When she was young, she would be running away from home all the time, and she'd be constantly moving in and out of her mother's house. Shelley would eventually move in with a divorced musician named Tommy. That's like 4 red flags right there. He was 20 years older than Shelley. That's 5. And in 2011, she had a son with him, Cole.
I hear you knocking on my cellar door. I love you, baby, can I have some more? Gone, the damage done. I hit the city and I lost my band. I watched the needle take another man. Gone, the damage done.
That, shockingly, hold on to your butts, didn't last. Soon after, Shelley and Cole moved back in with Mama Bear Janet after Hannah and Megan moved out and they went to college. And then very late on the 12th of March, they were a happy little family living in this house together. Janet, her daughter Shelley, and her grandson Cole. It came to an abrupt end when Janet said Shelley left that night and she never saw her again. Janet didn't report her daughter missing as she assumed she was out doing what she had done before, and she would come back eventually. That was until she saw the news.
Police say family members identified 26-year-old Rochelle Tyburski after seeing media reports. This is a photo her family just released to News Channel 5. Her body was found in a field off Victory Lane in North Ridgeville Sunday afternoon. Police say she had been dead 24 to 48 hours before her body was found.
And so the police went to speak with Janet and Hannah. Hannah had come back from college because, Shelley had been acting out a lot lately. She'd been going through a bad time. And it turned out she had reignited, the flame with her old spark, Tommy.
2:30 it would have been Thursday and Friday morning. Okay. Mom, I'm going to Tommy's. Tommy's picking me up. Okay.
Did you see her leave on Thursday night?
I heard her leave. That's fine.
You know if Tommy's been in any trouble or anything?
Yeah, I think so. The ex-wife has the restraining order placed on him.
Okay.
He does have a weapon in his apartment. I was scared.
Janet said he was bad news. He had been involved with the police from time to time and liked to party hard. Liked a few sips, maybe more than a few. Hannah too confirmed that Shelley had gone to Tommy's that night. That's where they believed she had gone. And word from there was that he could be, from time to time, a little bit more free with his hands than he should be. Janet said she heard a car pull up outside their house, assumed it was Tommy, and that's where she went. So police went to speak with him at his place in Cleveland. But Tommy said he hadn't spoken to Shelley since that Thursday night when Shelley's family said she left. He had tried calling her over the next day or two and got none.
My last communication with her was about 8:30 on Thursday night. And she was supposed to call me Friday morning and she never did. Now that's the same time you say that Janet told you guys that I picked her up at 2 in the morning. And I never did.
And so he just ended up drinking all weekend. He loved a good blackout, so he did.
Well, I'm always drunk. So I'm just being honest with you. Yeah, like I said, the only reason I know it's Tuesday right now is I know it's St. Patrick's Day. All right, and I slept all day yesterday. The day before, I drank a bottle of Jack, half a bottle of Crown, and about 20 beers.
God dang. What? Let's take notes on this real quick. The day before, I drank a bottle, not a cup, not a shot, a bottle of Jack, a half a bottle of Crown, and about 20 beers. Fam, your liver hates you, bro. Like, why? Don't get me wrong, I like to have a good time. But fam, it looks like you trying to take yourself out. That's not a good time. That's different. You trying to achieve a goal and it looks like it's death.
So I've been in a blackout drunk for the last 4 days. She comes and goes, you know? I mean, I don't keep track of when she comes and leaves.
If it is him, it sounds like to me, it sounds like he's setting up his alibi right now. It couldn't be me. I'm always drunk. I'm always blacked out drunk. Like, so it sounds like he's setting up his alibi right now.
Her and I never had an argument, really.
You and her never had any physical confrontations or struggles or anything?
No.
I know how women are, so I mean, sometimes they get out of hand, especially, you know, they're drinking.
Shelly's just a handful. Look, if she don't take her medication, man, she's really kind of loopy. Look, she's a good girl, but she has serious personality disorders. She didn't have the maturity of a 26-year-old. She was more like a 14 or 15-year-old in her head. She's seen a psychiatrist regularly. Like I said, she always said a lot of stuff that was untrue. Well, I told you, she has personality disorders.
That goes in my head.
So if Shelly...
So are you happy that she's gone or something? Like, you're not even speaking like you're upset like she's gone. You're just describing how messed up she was. Like, do you have any, like, sympathy or feelings that she's gone and passed and you'll never see her again? Anything? You feel anything? Probably not, because you got 20 beers and a half a bottle and a bottle of this in your system, probably.
Shelly didn't go to Tommy's. Where did she go?
She cheats on me all the time. It's a regular thing with her. Like last time she cheated on me, she met this guy, and then took off away. I don't know any idea where she was for 3 days. Whoever she went with picked her up off of Facebook, guarantee it. You get her mom's computer, you got to find out who she was talking to.
Following up on Shelly's social media accounts, it turned out she had in fact been messaging clickety-clacketing a few lads, but when the police followed up with each of them, there was nothing there. They were all like alibied out. I hadn't seen her that weekend. So later on, the coroner determined two things. First thing was that she had in fact suffocated to death. That was the cause of death, suffocation. Second was that although she was naked when Shelly was found, she was naked below the waist and her top was pulled up, her breasts were exposed, she hadn't been sexually assaulted. And in fact, when you combine that with the fact that there was shit around her wrists, like she'd been tied up, it actually looked staged. Like someone had wanted it to make it look like what the police thought, that she had been kidnapped and, you know, it had been a sexual motivated, blah, blah, blah. It had probably been staged, and probably by someone Shelly knew well.
Well, maybe that sounds like the guy who's throwing out all these accusations of, and I'm not saying they not true, but you throwing it out, making it obvious that, hey, she cheated on me. Hey, she's always messaging this guy. Hey, she's this random, that random. It could have been any random that possibly tied her up and did that to her. Yeah, you looking real guilty right now.
Tommy, most likely suspect, continued to deny any involvement. And he did the old switcheroo. He said you need to go back to the beginning and look at her family.
It was just the whole story that Janet's telling, man. She's leaving out. She's not telling you the whole truth. She's not telling you the whole story. There's something wrong with her, you know? I really hate to think that her mom could do something like that, man.
Things had not been good. There had been fights. In fact, in the September before, so 6 months before Shelly was dead, she had called the cops on Janet, saying she was being abusive. Not only that, Tommy said there had been a lot more trauma in Shelly's life than they knew. Even more trauma than Shelly's dad, Daryl, passing away in a car accident. Most likely it was drunk driving. He had been coming home from a party. Shelly had told Tommy that her dad, Daryl, had molested her as a kid, and Janet knew full well about it, and just did fucking sweet football. Now, it had been said before that Shelly made up a lot of shit. She had her own mental issues. Maybe it was just in her head. But when Tommy brought this up with Janet, she flew off the handle.
I gotta be honest, dude. She was pissed off about that whole thing. She's not being honest to you guys about the whole story, and that they were arguing about it. I just got a bad feel about her, man. It's just no make sense. And I know she's lying. I know it. She knows it. You're figuring it out, but you'll see, I haven't been honest about anything this whole time. I told you everything.
Okay, so now you have both Janet and Tommy.
I was about to say, that's still a nice, even though it looks like him, we've seen some plot twists in these stories before. You know what I mean? And he threw a nice little monkey wrench in at the end there, so.
Both denying they had anything to do with Shelly's death, and in fact both both of them, fucking dumb and dumber over here, pointing a finger at each other. So what the police did then was go and talk to someone who's like in between. They went to speak with Hannah, Shelley's younger sister, 19 years old and a college student. She said she hadn't seen Shelley all weekend.
What time did you say you were here? I thought about here. Do you know what time it is now? And after the first, when you get out of the apartment to the hospital, that's what happened. I think it's the Sergeant Michael.
But she did give conflicting accounts of when she had arrived back home from Oberlin that weekend. And when they asked to see her phone, Hannah walked out.
You told him where to go.
No, I want to go now.
Let me just, okay.
Say what you have to say. It's so upsetting. Just so I can leave. Get us out.
Yeah, well, this happens. Okay, I understand the consequences that you have to take into consideration. This is not going away. It's not going away.
Maybe it was those closest to her after all. Next, the police got a search warrant of Janet's car, and they found blood on the door. And then finally, what the police did was they got a hold of all the surveillance footage between the Tyburski home and where Shelley had been found. And what they found was that on the morning of the 15th, which was the day Shelley had been found, like very early morning, still dark, Janet's car had driven from her home to where Shelley had been found on Victory Lane. When the blood in the car came back and matched Shelley's blood, they knew her family, probably her mother, had killed her. Janet was not having it.
Okay. We have reason to believe that Shelley never left the house.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we know that something happened.
Okay.
We know that something happened at the house.
Okay. What do you think? What do you believe?
That's, remember I told you we do, you know, if you watch CSI and all that stuff, we do everything possible, you know, and we try to confirm and we try to check out what people tell us and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and as part of that, like I said, we do the history, we do the, you know, we pull videotape. You know, there's houses and stuff that have video, and they can tell whether, you know, if there's activity and stuff like that with businesses. I mean, we've been scouring.
Just say it, bro. We think you did it. We know you did it. Say it.
I mean, you have to understand, this has been, what, 2 weeks?
Oh, I know you have. I'm no doubt.
And we've come to the conclusion that something happened at the house.
Okay. Do you have?
And that's why.
Do you have?
That's why I want to
evidence
talk
of
to you. Well, and that's why I want to talk to you.
No one. Probably suspect number one.
Well,
I know it. I didn't do anything to her. I emphatically deny.
What we know, and like I said, this is based on the evidence, what we know is that this, whatever happened to Shelley, this was done in either in anger, or fit of rage, or passion, what they call a crime of passion, whether it's love, hate.
What evidence are you able to share with me? You're saying you found evidence.
Well,
what is that evidence?
I mean, even the killer is tired of you just jabbering on, bro. Like, just spit it out.
That's what I've been waiting to hear.
Janet, the evidence is that we know something happened at the house.
But you can't tell me concretely. I'm waiting to hear what number one, what you found so far.
She left the interview and the investigation continued. The police got a search warrant, and as they arrived at her house, confronting her one more time, Janet just came out and said it.
We had to seize your vehicle.
Oh.
The prosecutor believes that he was using commission of crime.
Okay. Is there something found in the vehicle?
Yeah. Something found in the vehicle, there's something found at the crime scene.
Are you able to tell me what was found?
No. And here's, and I'm going to tell you right now, Janet, you know exactly what happened, you know what was done, and the evidence is going to tell us that. I know the truth. We know the truth. And
tell me what you feel is true.
No, I'm not. This isn't tell me what you have and I'll tell you the truth. This is the time. You tell me what happened.
I'm going to go ahead and confess to killing Rochelle. It has been escalating. I felt safety was definitely at risk, and I killed her on.
Well, so, and I'm sitting here trying to be like, man, no, there's no way her own mom would do this to her. There's no way her own parent would do this to her. It's no way. So you try to just tell yourself that, no, this cannot be. And it is. It's true. It's real. It's authentic. It's, as this reads, a crime of passion. Are you serious?
I know. Safety was definitely at risk, and I killed her on the early hours of Friday 13th in a crime of passion.
On Friday the 13th, for some of us who still think that date holds some significance, you did it that day. Of course it was premeditated. It wasn't no just built. You did it on that day. Now it's no way you're going to convince me otherwise.
Janet was taken in on the 5th of May. Janet said that Shelley had just become more delusional, more violent lately, and she had started to become scared for Cole, for her grandson. Not only for her grandson, but for herself too. Janet had tried to ask Shelley, for custody of Cole, and that did not go down too well at all. In fact, then Shelley just said she was going to take her son and go off with Tommy and leave Janet with swinging in the wind. According to Janet, she followed that swiftly up with, I'm just gonna fucking kill you. So Janet, not too keen on that, tried to change tack. She just switched lanes real quickly, and so when Shelley was asleep that night, she went up with a pillow, and Shelley started fighting back, and they fell to the ground, and Janet started smashing her head and face into the wooden floor. Shelley eventually stopped fighting.
After that happened, did you go to bed or did you stay up?
I went to sleep.
Janet then called...
Whoa, sicko. So you could just kill your own daughter and then just tuck away under your covers and go to sleep? Sweet dreams. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Are you kidding me?
Called Hannah and told her to come home. She asked her other daughter to help move the body of the one she killed.
That's right where I should have stopped. Hannah should have never been involved in that.
What do you think? She killed him.
A virgin and a sort of chaos in the house.
I guess Hannah felt she had no choice.
What did you do in the moment? I was getting angry, but I didn't. The mom's in trouble. No, I guess some people would ask him.
While confessing, Janet called Hannah on the phone.
I just confessed to murdering Rochelle. Yeah, I did, honey. I told him, I'm telling him everything that happened. And I know that they feel that you're an accessory after the fact, though, honey. So they're going to be talking to you. Okay? I love you, Hannah. And I'm sorry for involving you in this and moving her body. I'm so sorry, honey.
Way to throw your own daughter under the bus. Well, I suppose she...
That's what I was thinking. Why would you even... Well, obviously a person who don't care enough that she would kill her own daughter. You think she care about dragging her other daughter in too? No, at this point, it's as this video is titled, a family affair. I swear I've heard of a story similar to this, and I'm racking my brain about it. You know what I mean? Because it's making me wonder, so how did the dad die? That's on my mind now.
She did already prove she's such a good mother. She murdered her own daughter.
The Lakewood mother accused of doing the unthinkable, killing her own child.
And dumping the body in a field. Now as the woman appears before a judge, stunned supporters cope with the news.
To make sure I have an attorney, I'd like to request a court-appointed attorney.
Janet Tyberski showed no emotion and acted very calm during her video arraignment before a judge this morning. North Ridgeville police arrested Janet Tyberski yesterday at her Lakewood home. The same place where investigators tell me this mom suffocated her daughter to death on Friday, the 13th of March.
Janet's defense when it came to trial was that it was in self-defense, that she'd been backed into a corner by Shelley. Like an abusive relationship, you know. Interesting. Okay, she was just getting so violent, so dangerous, I had no choice but to kill her. Yeah, why not? But a little bit more investigating showed that, well, Janet didn't work. Right, she was a full-time mad bastard instead, and so she'd gone into debt. Her house was not going to be her house for much longer. The bank was sending her angrier and angrier letters. So, like a gambler, didn't she just happen to put a few bob on Shelley that she might accrue if she died? Some may call life insurance, I call it pretty much like every motive ever, to the point I don't even have to say it anymore. I can just do the...
What do you really look at life insurance policy you must get up your sister?
And so, knowing that the prosecution knows this, Janet took a plea deal. The deal allowed Hannah to avoid a prison sentence. Hannah Tyburski pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge of gross abuse of a corpse, and for that she was given a 90-day suspended jail sentence and ordered to pay a $750 fine. Janet was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 19 years.
It's something I have to live with, and I'm so sorry to everybody.
And Shanae, that's the end of that one. Pretty messed up family. Kinda reminds me of the Stouty one all over again, only instead of poisoning, she just fucking suffocated. With the old pillow trick, you know. Janet wanted control over Shelley. She thought she was expendable and a loose cannon, who she just would rather not be around anymore. But she wanted to come off as, hey, I'm the real victim here. I put her out of her misery. Crime of passion, crime of sympathy for her grandson. She just wanted to save her grandson. Nope. She wanted her daughter gone so her life would be easier and richer. Pretty much psychopath, true and true. Classic case though of, oh, poor me though. Now give me life insurance, baby, I want it. Now she's gonna be wanting a hell of a lot more than that, let me tell you.
That's sad, bro. How you look at your kid as a dollar sign for your mess ups and your shortcomings and things that you messed up. You look at your kid and you place a bounty on, pretty much a bounty on them, and you execute the bounty. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you do that to your kid? And then, let's make matters worse. Let's drag another kid in here. Why not? For that life insurance, man, it's almost to the point where they need to stop selling it. Because at this point, you know, it's getting a lot of people taken out of here. Like, somebody bring up life insurance to you, you better start watching that person carefully. If they fixing your food, they never been nice to you, but all of a sudden they're just so nice to you, you better start paying attention to that closely. That's all I'm saying, bro. Way too often we're seeing these life insurance cases. Insane. People going as far as taking out their own kid. Scary, man. Scary. But y'all, make sure you enjoy your family at July 4th. You know what I mean? Coming up, all right? Y'all be safe. And come back through and check me out. Stick around and stay tuned. Till next one, I'm gone. Peace.